What's up, everybody? Dr. Perry Bard here. And on behalf of Dr. Eric Kaplan, welcome to the first Zoom training of 2024, the decompression, neuropathy, biz plan, game plan, mindset, focus, and more. We're so happy that you're here with us here. I know you probably had a lot of other stuff going on in your life because you're so busy. If you're like us, you're juggling a lot of things, but we got a lot of new stuff to show you, a lot of new stuff to share with you, a lot of new stuff to give you, stuff you have not seen before, I promise. And with some measurable takeaways. So two quick things. You ready? You ready? I hope you're sitting down for this. Everybody digging the hockey uniforms? You like the hockey outfits? Notice Dr. Kaplan and I are kind of it's not the New York Rangers. It is though red, white, and blue. This Centers of America. I know you're kind of digging it. So are we. But two quick things. Number one, if I'm you, what I'm going to do is I am going to shut off my phone. I'm going to lock the door. And I'm going to put everything on silent with the exception of this. I'm going to make sure that this Zoom meeting is front and center so you, doctor, have the ability to focus on what's important, because we're going to go kind of fast here today. I don't want you to miss anything. You know how we are sometimes with slides. We'll show them and then we're on to the next thing. So I don't want you to miss anything. And that's number two. Number two is we want you to take out a piece of paper. We're going to give you some notes here live to take in terms of mindset, in terms of focus, in terms of action steps, in terms of where you should be putting the emphasis. And if you know anything about Dr. Kaplan and myself, you know that we're going to dive right into the deep end of the pool. Is that cool? Can we do that? Would that be all right? If it is, just give me thumbs up. Just give me thumbs up. If that's, yeah. Give me thumbs up if I can go into the deep end of the pool. Yeah, baby. There we go. Hey, Dr. Smith. I'm so glad you're on this. And it looks like you're in the Bahamas there, but it's so cool. We're going to go right into it. I'm going to start sharing my screen right now. And the room is booming. Look at the room just tripled in size in like 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Well, guess what? I got news for you. If Dr. Kaplan and I weren't giving this, we would be on this. And you will, doctor, you will see why here tonight. So let me share my screen with you super quick. And hopefully that will work. There we go. Can everybody see that? Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let me just do, I'm going to just stop that for just a sec. You can bring that up again after if you like. And it's so cool. I even have a musician, Charlie Daniels. That's not the first time you were told that. So here we go. All right, let's kick it off. Here we go. As you know, brand new year, brave new world, bold new future, and we're going to kick it off right here. So let's go into the facts. As Dr. Kaplan would always say, the facts of life. And no, that was a TV show. But in this case, this is the facts, doctor, as it applies to you. Either, as you know, you either have a game plan or guess what? You're going to follow somebody else's plan. And guess what? As you know, it may not be the plan that you dreamed of, that you desired, that you wanted for yourself, because this is a very matter-of-fact Zoom training. This is a very matter-of-fact time in your life. This is a matter-of-fact moment because of the simple fact that what you do here for 2024, if you do it right, you can set the table so well for the rest of the year that life will get good, really good, not just for 2024, but for years to come. Either you have a very distinct emphasis on what's important to you, what you want out of your practice, what you're willing to give to your practice, what you're willing to invest in yourself, so much more. We're going to talk about that. As I mentioned, it is a brand new year. It is a brave new world. And without question, it is a bold, bold new future for all of you here with us live here tonight. Now notice, If, one word, two letters, if you are willing to improve yourself so you can help the most patients. So in other words, there's a contingency here. So in other words, there's a, can I say it? There's a deal that you're going to have to make. Not with us, with yourself. You're going to have to make a deal with yourself or your higher power. That's super cool. What you're willing to do right here, right now, to make 2024 the best possible year of your career. I don't care. You've got doctors on the Zoom meeting right here, right now. We know who you are. You've been in practice for 5 years. You've been in practice for 10 years. You've been in practice for 20 years. We've got doctors here on the Zoom meeting that have been in practice over 40 years. Over 40 years. They've seen it all, just kind of like you, doctor. But here's the good news. The good news is they're here for a reason, and they're here because they want to make a change to make 2024 better than 2023, maybe the best possible year of your career. So as we mentioned, brave new world, bold, brand new day, bold new future, if you're willing to focus on the 4 pillars. What are the 4 pillars? Real simple. Number 1, spinal disc care. We're going to talk about that. Dr. Kaplan's going to do a little bit of a deep dive on spinal disc care. So get ready. You know when he goes, you better put your seatbelt on. Yeah. Neuropathy care, knee care, and chiropractic care. Now, what do all of those share in common in our world, in the concierge coach's world? All of those are cash-based models. The way Dr. Kaplan and I have been teaching this now for so many years is this is based upon a supply and demand. In other words, creating the largest demand for your services. So it is incumbent upon you, doctor, to fulfill the supply, make the investment in yourself. All of these are cash models. We teach you how to do that. And how do you do that? Well, this is how you do it. Number 1, you're doing it right now. How cool is this? You're doing it. Wait a minute. You don't have to, wait a minute. You have to jump through all these hoops? No, you already did it. You're here live with us here on the Zoom training. Congratulations. I'll pat you on the back, brother, sister, doctor, and more, because I know, and you know, there are other distractions in your life that could have taken you away from this. No, this is a focal point for you. Why? Because you're here for a reason. Why? Because you know if you make some changes, you could set the table for 2024 correctly. Why? Because you have a commitment to excellence. Why? Because you became, just like Dr. Kaplan and myself, a chiropractor for a reason. So number 1, Zoom trainings. Number 2, videos. Number 3, audios. And the most important way, if you say, well, listen, hold on a second. I'm doing the Zoom trainings. I'm doing the videos. I'm doing the audios. I love all that. I'm investing in myself. There's no downtime in my life. I'm doing everything I can within my power to create a better version of the best doctor that I can be, so I could serve the most disc patients, nerve patients, chiropractic patients, and more. But the most important thing you could do, grab a pen, you ready? Is live trainings. There is something about attending a live training that is an immersion dynamic. Well, that's at least the way we created it. This is about immersion. And immersion is putting yourself in the right place at the right time to get the right training from the right doctors with the right content for the right results. Heck, that's a lot of rights. Tony Robbins said, as you know, proximity is power. If you put yourself around like-minded doctors, just like yourself, that are entrepreneurial, that want more for their patients, more for their family, more for themselves. They understand that this is a business. We'll talk about money tonight. Heck yeah. And that proximity is power. Go to, write this down right here, right now. Now, there's a reason that we're doing this now. You might say, wait a minute. Don't you usually do that stuff at the end? Yeah. But you know what happened last time? If you were on our Zoom meeting last time, what happened? I saved it all to the end. And then while we're doing the Zoom meeting, everybody went on and kind of looked at some of the stuff and Googled it and went into their emails and grabbed all the seats at the Chiro event. So before we even got to the last slide, all the seats were gone. Then I get all these like emails and texts. What the heck is going on? I thought there was some seats left. Well, there were before we started, but you know how it is. Listen, if something's good, it's going to stand the test of time. If something's great, it's going to survive and outlast everybody. There's a reason Dr. Kaplan and I have outlasted everybody. There's a reason. You know the reason. The content's better. The commitment to and dedication to serving you so you can serve your patients is higher. The ability to invest in your education is so much BBM, bigger, better, and more. So write it down. Go to, I'll give you the date right now. You might say, well, gee, how can you put a date? I'm going to give it to you right now. Ready? www.thechiroevent.com, January 27th. That's the date. I think it's less than 3 weeks away for a reason. January sets the table for the rest of the year. There are seats left. Before I even got on this tonight, I called Stephanie, I called Lacey, and I said, tell me where we are with seats. They said there's seats left. You can go live tonight and you could put it out there. And it is just so cool. We capture market share. Dr. Kaplan and I have been capturing market share and became the #1 brand because of 2 reasons. Number one, Disc Centers of America, and number 2, neuropathy treatment centers. That is the brands. We give the brands away. The brands are free. We give them to our doctors. Dr. Kaplan and I are educators at the end of the day. And if you're fortunate to grab a seat to be educated, then guess what? If you're part of our family, we give you all the brands for free. And that's the gift that keeps giving. So what I want to do is this. What I want to do is I want to go to, actually what I want to do is I want to show you something really quick, and then we're going to go right to Dr. Kaplan and do the deep dive tonight, because I actually created these slides an hour ago. Oh my gosh, an hour ago, because there was a message he wanted to get across. And I said, that's it. So in essence, if your 2024 game plan is all about non-surgical spinal decompression, all about spinal disc care, all about helping you, doctor, help your demographic, your market, help in terms of helping your patients avoid dangerous opioid medications, risky epidural injections, and often unnecessary back surgeries, microdiscectomies, laminectomies, foraminotomies, metal in the back, cages. That's what you do as a spinal disc doctor with a much better option. But here's where it starts to get interesting, because you know, doctor, that this is not just where you live. Most patients don't just present and say, hey, I'm here for spinal decompression. What do most patients do? They come and they say, well, gee, my back is killing me. I'd like to get maybe a couple of adjustments. That's what my other chiropractor did. But the fact is this, the fact is that you're not just in the disc business, you're also in the nerve business. And we're going to talk about that here live in terms of your disc model for 2024, your nerve model for 2024. But here's the best part. You ready, Doc? Hope you're sitting down for this one. There's really, the future is about this. And it's about what we call the hybrid. And the hybrid is really a combination of both models live. In other words, where you have a disc business, a nerve business, but then you have a conjoined business all under your chiropractic umbrella. We're going to go into case studies tonight. But before I do that, guess what? What I'm so juiced about and what I'm so pumped about is you know who, because there's certain things, he always gets excited this time of year. He's been in my life for 37 years. A lot of you don't know this. I was his associate doctor 37 years ago. OMG. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been that long. Hey, listen, if a relationship is good, it's going to hang out for a while. If a relationship is great, then guess what? It's going to hang out a lot longer. And if a relationship is historic, then guess what? It's going to stand the test of time. It's been in my life for 37 years. He is, without question, the heavyweight champion, the best pound-for-pound chiropractor on the planet, because he committed himself every year to reinventing himself. That's what this Zoom meeting is about. It's about reinvention, and it's the coolest thing going. Dr. K, oh, baby, if there was a drum roll, I'm doing it for you right now. Here we go.
I always start to say, where do we begin? And we begin from the very beginning, meaning people would always ask me as a chiropractor, how would I see 200 people a day? My common answer was quickly. But in reality, I was a subluxation based chiropractic. And when we have to look at it now, because it all begins with the subluxation, and doctors, I think that many doctors got lazy. Yes, lazy, because you have to know what you want and what price you're willing to pay. An example being, where we had the nerve, disc, nerve, spine, muscle connection. We talked about histopathology and neuropathology and pathophysiology. Okay, we kind of like said the words, but we didn't follow through on it. So Perry said, take out a pad. Everybody write the word down, nerve. Nerve, because tonight you got your nerve to be here. And my nerve is saying, why are chiropractors not the leaders in the country with neuropathy when neurotonin, Cymbalta, neurotonin, gabapentin, these are not the drugs. You have to decide, doctors. Listen, you don't think you're in a drug-related atmosphere? As the former president of Nutrisystem, I sat yesterday with one of the present board members of Nutrisystem, and he's telling me, oh, weight loss is in trouble. Nutrisystem in trouble, Dr. Kaplan. We want your opinion. Why? Because now everybody's doing injectable weight loss. So hold on. We go for injectables for viruses. We go for COVID injections. We want to have all of these. People are starting to become drug addicts in our country besides the oral medications they take. And the leading drugs that they take for neuropathy, doctors, is Lyrica, which only has a 50% success rate in 50% of the time. But why is this so important to us? Because you have to understand there's a subluxation nerve neuropathy disc connection. If you look at Jane Distard, MD from the University of Washington, she would say sciatic neuropathy is the most common cause of motor neuron lesion. Hold on. You mean sciatica and nerve? But hold on. Let's go within the dictionary. What does the Oxford Dictionary say? Disease and dysfunction of one or more peripheral nerves, typically causing numbness or weakness. Well, doctors, that's what we do every day. And yet, are you treating it for neuropathy? Listen, a subluxation has 5 components: neuropathology, pathophysiology, histopathology, myopathology, pathophysiology. You must treat as a doctor all 5 components. And then you have to understand, how do you diagnose it? Well, if you talk to Megan Murphy, MD from Harvard University, she'll talk about the importance of balance. If you talk about the Berry and Vysokovsky study, they're going to talk about balance and strength. If you talk about the Baron, Binder, and Dickinson study, which is in the European Journal of Pain Management, they're going to talk about low back pain is a recognized neuropathy component. Hold on. Did you hear what I just said? Baron, Binder, and Dickinson, European Journal of Pain Management, said chronic low back pain is recognized as a neuropathy component. Yet, in California, because there are states, doctors, if you don't realize, we're at war. We're at war. You see, historically, chiropractors circle the wagons and shoot at each other. The state of California originally didn't say, oh, chiropractors can't treat neuropathy. Hold on. Every time that you do an adjustment, you're treating neuropathy. Do you understand that? If you're going to move a bone, you're going to affect neuropathy. Perry, just take for 1 second. I'm going to sneeze.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody, hold on. Hold on.
I'm still alive.
Hold on.
God bless me.
Hold on. So this is so exciting because I actually, I want to tell you kind of what we're going to do a little bit here. Look at JK. Dr. Jason Kaplan is giving my abs a workout right now. I can show you. Want to see my abs? They're not as good as Dr. Wang's, but they're getting better every day. What we're going to do here today, just so you know, is we're actually, believe it or not, just as we start to go through this, believe it or not, we're going to go to some case studies tonight. Yeah. Not done before. Because I want you to start to think. Dr. Kaplan and I, when we do this, we got together yesterday and we actually said, how can we make this different for 2024? And we said, and it was so funny. I was thinking it, and then he said it, and then he said it. I was thinking it. It was so funny, or vice versa, that we're going to go into some of the patient presentations that you're seeing in your office right here, right now. What are you going to do? How are you going to process them? How are you going to manage them? How are you going to educate them? We're going to go into that today, tonight. And Dr. K, so much fun. Back at you, brother.
We talk to doctors all the time. And, it's funny today, Perry, I had the opportunity to talk to Tim Karaman.
Yeah.
We're working on a very big surprise for you. And we're going to think that because, we do a lot of things for our doctors, because one of the things that we do for Neurodoc and Distance America is we don't want you to be a better salesman, doctor. We want you to be a better doctor. And to be a better doctor, you have to understand research. And there are so many studies that connects neuropathy and chiropractic and its ability to the spine. I go to the Feinberg study, the Murphy study, the Rashbaum study, the COSI study. Now, the COSI study was very interesting because he talked about how that goes back to the 17th century when they were using electrical fish to treat neuropathy. Imagine they were using electrical fish to treat neuropathy. And we'll talk about electroanalgesia, how it's taken it to the next level. We can talk about the McCormick study and the Abraham study from the National Institute of Health, how no drugs are effective for neuropathy. Now, doctors, are you hearing this? This is the best chance for chiropractic you've ever had. So now you have the Binder and Barron study, the Stard-Weiss study, the Yen study, and then you have the Park-Min study, which talks about diabetes, neuropathy, and back pain are common. And then you have to understand that what are the common causes of neuropathy? Well, we know it can be post-surgical. We know it can be infections. We know it can be alcohol. We know it can be sugar. We know it can be liver. We know it can be kidney. Now, there are many forms of treatment, doctors. And do you have them in your office? And how are you treating neuropathy? And are you treating neuropathy? And are you diagnosing it? Now, one of the Murphy studies at Harvard University talks about balance. We recommend balance testing. Dr. Tim Cameron and I talked about that today. If you have to diagnose a disc injury with an MRI, you can help diagnose neuropathy with a balance testing mechanism. And there's some equipment out there that's not overly expensive. Now, do you realize that 35 million prescriptions for neuropathy were produced last year in our country? 35 million. So you're saying, hold on, and you're looking for new patients? You know what it is? One of the things that we teach at the boot camp is the 3 C's. The 3 C's are the capture, the conversion, and the close. You have to capture new patients. You have to convert new patients. You have to close new patients. But you know what? They have to buy what you're selling. And then you have to know that neuropathy, doctors, is always traced back to circulation. New vessels is better circulation. So that's why we talk about MIR. And MIR is a very important word, monochromatic infrared energy. That we have to understand that with monochromatic infrared energy, that we can treat neuropathy. Matter of fact, I'm talking to a former student of mine. I apologize, not student, one of my roommates in chiropractic school. And he says, Doc, I'm having numbness in my feet. He says, the medical doctor says I need back surgery. I said, do you have back pain? No. Do you have sciatica? No. He says, I have numbness in my feet. Guess what? You have neuropathy. And neuropathy, doctors, is improved by circulation. That's what we know. There's a lot of types of neuropathy, usually that we know, but we also know that there are supplements that help it. One of the supplements that help it is nitric oxide. So we can talk about Dr. Fergat's study for the State University of New York, and he talks about how it makes new vessels. That with nitrous oxide, it helps to create new vessels. Because what we want to do, so think about what I'm saying, doctor, if we're dealing with monochromatic infrared energy, what we're doing is we're stimulating the growth of new vessels. We're stimulating the growth of new vessels, which increases circulation. So you're saying to yourself, do I have these tools? Am I utilizing these tools? You see, doctors, my belief is there is nothing more important to the patient than the chiropractic adjustment. But there are other things that we need to add to the chiropractic adjustment. And if you're dealing with a disc problem, guess what, doctors? You're probably dealing with a neuropathy problem. And if you're dealing with a neuropathy problem, doctors, you're probably dealing with this problem. One of the things that we talk about all the time is how ATP, micromatic infinite energy, what it does is stimulates the mitochondria. When it stimulates the mitochondria, it stimulates ATP, which is the energy of the cells. You need energy in the cells. You see, doctors, there's really only one disease. The one disease is cellular dysfunction. There are two causes of cellular dysfunction. Either the cells are toxic or the cells are deficient. Well, if they're toxic, give you an example. With neuropathy, sugar is toxic. Smoking is toxic. Alcohol is toxic. And we know that if we can reduce the sugar intake versus putting people on statins, because now that we know, guess what, doctors? Do we know that last year statins are one of the most highly prescribed drugs in the United States? And do we know that statins affects the insulin production of the body, and that people that take statins are more prone to diabetes, and people that are more prone to diabetes are more prone to neuropathy? This is from statins, doctor. Statins, I take statins, but it's statins for cholesterol. And remember, doctors, we also know there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. You think the statins know, hey, that's a good guy, I'll leave him alone. That's a bad guy, I better go after him. Statins don't know the difference. You need cholesterol to protect every cell in the body, and there are certain supplements that you need to work with that will improve the condition of the patient. You see, what we know is that mitochondria absorb light, and the mitochondria is stimulated by the micromatic infinite energy. So we talk about lights, and we talk about lasers, and we talk about electroanaesthesia. Why electroanaesthesia? People don't understand it. A TENS unit produces 100 pulses per second. It's a very topical. Electric muscle stimulation produces 1,000. Neuromed, or the matrix, produces 10,000 pulses per second. So what that does, doctors, it's stimulating. So what you want to do is, and that's why many times shockwave is also very important. Now, I know a lot of people saying, oh, shockwave, soft wave, what's the difference? Well, really, one is radial, which is acoustic shockwave, and one is acoustic, shockwave. But the other is physioelectric, which deals in a water base. But let me tell you something. The bottom line is, physiologically, doctors, they affect the body the same way. They're going to create the body to produce angiogenesis. And angiogenesis is going to create new levels of circulation. So to me, the difference between radial and shockwave and soft wave is all you're doing is you're dealing both with waves, but one is just gentler than the other. But I will tell you, one is more expensive than the other. And I'm going to tell you, with an acoustic shockwave therapy, you will get comparable results. The results will not change. And the D in doctor stands for diagnostics, and the R stands for results. The better diagnostician you are, the better results you can get. So hold on. What have we talked about today? We've talked about the matrix, electroanaesthesia. We've talked about shockwave. We talked about chiropractic because the adjustment is key to everything. But we also need to talk about laser. And we know that low laser has a great effect on circulation and has a great influence on neuropathy. So if you have these tools in your office, doctors, you have the difference. And then you can talk about the deficiencies. As I said, tells us toxic, or they're deficient. Well, what are deficiencies? Well, we know they need vitamin B1, they need vitamin B6, they need vitamin B12, and need vitamin D. And if you add that with a nitrous oxide supplement, you will get results. You see, doctors, people go for the choice. People think that we live in a drug world. Go to television tonight when you leave this webinar. All these commercials are going to be drug related. And then you hear the side effects. There's no side effects, doctors, to nitrous oxide. Oh, I guess there is. You'll get better circulation. There's no side effects to the B vitamins. Oh, yeah, it'll calm down the nerves. You see, so if the N stands for neuropathy, the E in nerve stands for energy. The R stands for regeneration. And both the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic have come out and said that nerve and neuropathy have the ability to regenerate. Did you hear that, doctors? Nerves have the ability to regenerate. And you, as natural healers, you should be the forefront of this. This is the greatest time in the history. Listen, when I graduated chiropractic school in 1978, I heard quack, 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 quack. I thought I was a duck. I swear to God, I used to get naked and look in front of the mirror, see if I had feathers on my butt. This is a great time because this is our time to take a position. We can handle disc disease. We can handle neuropathy. We can handle knee problems. We are the people that prevent surgery. Matter of fact, we should not be considered alternative healthcare. We should be considered primary healthcare. The alternative should be drugs and surgeries. Go ahead, Perry. I see you got that look. I know you're ready to rock and roll. Give me something, baby.
You bet. You bet. All right. So a couple of things, all right, that just like scream at me right here, right now. And that is this. Number one, I'm going to say something that's going to surprise a lot of you, but I'm going to say it. Do not, I'll repeat it one more time. Do not watch this Zoom meeting and buy any equipment. Yeah. Do not watch this and do not buy any equipment yet. You just heard about laser, which I love, right? Come on. Mitochondria, the mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. This is about oxygen. This is about circulation. We'll talk about that. You heard about matrix. You heard about soft wave. You heard about shock wave. You heard about all this stuff. You might even hear about decompression tables real soon. But guess what? Do not go out and spend any money yet. Why? Because here's why. The reason why is because, I'll tell you why. Let's see if I can go back. Is because I just got to tell you, if you can watch it, you see me in the little corner of your screen here. You see my phone lighting up. I just got texted. Obviously, you took heed in what we said. The best money you'll ever spend is $249. That's it. $249. Go to the website right now. They just texted me right now. They've already scooped up a bunch of seats. Obviously, you guys learned from last time not to wait till the end. You jumped on it right away. January 27th, live training. Dr. Kaplan, myself, and the most entrepreneurial, business-savvy, business-minded chiropractors on the planet that are there to learn in a comprehensive, complete day focused on new patients, which we'll talk about in just a sec. Go to the website right now, www.thecheiroevent.com. Scoop up your seat. It will be a training that will set your year in motion. And I have a very strong feeling. Come on, you know we've done this before. We've been hanging out a little bit together for a while. The seats will be gone by the time we get to the last slide. I have a strong feeling because that's kind of the way it was before. But don't wait. $249, www.thecheiroevent.com. Gourmet lunch, no contracts, nothing to sign, no obligation, and a stack of stuff that if you hang out a while, which we've never done before, I cannot wait to show you. So what I'm going to do is this. I want to show you something really quick, but I don't know if you caught this. But if you're here live and the room continues to grow, did you catch, tell me if you caught this, shake your head if you caught this, that there's a doctor with us right here, right now, live, that has not lifted his head the whole time we're here because his head is buried in a stack of notes and he's writing and flipping pages because he's taken all the golden nuggets and his mind is spinning. And he knows what he's going to do today, tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of the year. And here's the best part. You ready for this? He doesn't need any of it. Why? Because he's one of the biggest, best neuropathy specialists in the world. His name's Dr. Mike Smith. He's been part of our family for so long. I'm so into you, Dr. Mike, because game on. And I'll make a bet. I'm not a betting man, but I will make a bet that your notes look different than everybody else's because you're getting ideas, and that's the purpose of this Zoom meeting. So I'm going to show you some stuff real quick that hopefully will trigger some ideas. We're going to go kind of quick, but I want to do something a little different here if I can. Let me see if I can do that. And let me see here if I can. Yeah, baby. I want to do this. I want to bring up something here, and I want to show you something here. All right, 2024. Brave new world. Brand new year. Bold new future. Are you ready to go to work? Let's go to work. All right. So 2024, basically, we want you coming out of this, and you will come out on January 27th with a different vision, different goals, a different mission, a different purpose, and a different commitment. The focal point is on clarity. The focal point is on congruence. The focal point is on chiropractic. Do you notice how all of those words, begin with the letter C? Well, you know what else begins with the letter C? I love it when Dr. Kaplan said it before. Circulation. So the question is, and we're going to talk about this as we go through some of the case studies, is it an entrapment? Is it a nerve entrapment? Is it a disc problem? We'll talk about that. But we want you to be very, very exacting, very, very clear, and very purposeful coming out of this January 27th. Scoop up your seat. The acronym, come on, we love acronyms, is SMART. We want you to be specific. We want it to be measurable. That's why Dr. Kaplan's always looking at your statistics voluntarily. You send them in, he'll tell you what to change, modify, enhance, add, take away to grow. Attainable. It has to be realistic. Listen, if you're only doing $500,000 a year, you collected $500,000 a year. Well, guess what the next goal is? The next goal is to get you up to 6. Because once you get up to 6, then you can go to 7. Once you go to 7, then you can get to so many of these doctors that are on this Zoom meeting right now that are doing multiple 7 figures, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. But they might have started just like you. Or it's got to be relevant. It's got to be factual. It's got to be time sensitive. It's got to be realistic to 2024. And it has to have, in essence, basically a call to action. In other words, the clock is ticking, as you know. What we want you to do coming out of January 27th, and even starting right here, right now, is we want you to list your top 3 to 5 financial goals for this year. And we also want you to list your top 3 to 5 goals that are non-financial. So you got the financial side, you've got the non-financial side. You want me to give you one of my goals? Hey, come on. It's about resolutions. Well, my resolution is simple. My resolution is to continue what I've done for the past 4 years. 4 years ago, I said, I'm not drinking any more soda. I haven't had I would love a Coke. You don't know, I would love a Coke. There's so many other things that I committed to 4 years ago. And I live in the moment. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to take a page out of the book. I want you to abstain from certain things. That'll increase your discipline. It'll increase your will. It'll increase your drive. It'll increase your focus. And I want you to be able to separate the two, financial, non-financial. And then I want you to be able to focus on what we call KPIs. KPIs are key performance indicators. And as you know, KPIs are like social media, financials, marketing. But here's where it starts to get fun. And the fun is, and if you notice, Steve Jobs, pay attention to this. It is better, and this is exactly what you're doing on the Zoom meeting right here, right now. It is better to copy genius than to try to create mediocre on your own. The reason that we have over 230 Disc Centers of America, Neuropathy centers, family members that are part of our inner circle, training, learning, growing, being, doing, having, is because they said, I'm not going to try to figure this out on my own. Your rocket ship of concierge coaches and the brands is the strongest force in this business. I just got to hook my ride to it. And that's how we go. One of the things that I love what Dr. Kaplan does is when Dr. K will talk about what we call the PVA, or what we call the lifetime value of a patient. Now, old school chiropractic, as you know, was when you said PVA, right? What did that mean? Oh, patient visit average. Does a patient come in 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, 80 times? Well, heck, Dr. Kaplan was the king of PVA. Yeah. 200 visits a day? Yeah. Day in, day out? Yeah. I'm the fly on the wall. Yeah. I'm the associate doctor. Yeah. I took notes on it. Yeah. We passed those notes down to our family doctors through what's called the Red Book. Yeah. I wrote down everything he said to a patient. He had the right answer at the right time for the right question and the right problem to deliver the right result. How exciting is that? But what he did was he started looking at his business in 1987 as a business. His practice was a business. He's carried on that message now. So the end of the day is we want you doctors to look at the lifetime value of a patient in terms of, and I love, he's going to go into it. What is a spinal disc case worth to you? What is a neuropathy case worth to you? What is a knee case worth to you? Well, heck, if you ask some of our doctors, they'll tell you it's 5,000 a case, 6,000 a case, $7,000 a case. And plus, we don't tell you what to charge. You set your own fees, but we'll give you every financial form. We'll show you how to modify it. We'll show you how to dial it in. We'll show you how to have language in there that is protective of the patient and protect you. And then the focal point, as you know, is on, boy, makes my heart beat a little bit faster for all these years. Thing that I get most juiced, adrenalized, excited about. What is that about? Oh, come on, you know. It's new patients. Oh, Dr. Groff, it's so cool to see you, brother. You are the Bob. We have such superstars on this Zoom meeting right now. I can rant and rave about them, but I'm going to stick to the script because I want to show you more slides. Because, right, you've never seen this before, right? You've never seen this slide before. Well, take a picture of it because we want you to focus on PVA, patient value average. Dr. Kaplan kind of dialed this down so well. And then, as I said, the thing that we get juiced and adrenalized and excited about is how do we drive traffic, people, bodies, new patients in the front door? In other words, are you using your like we love toll-free vanity numbers. If you go to our websites, we're getting leads. We're sending out leads to our sites probably for some funky reason, more now than ever. And that means that there's a reason for that. You might say, well, gee, why is that happening? Because people are doing Google searches, and this sentence of America keeps popping up. Neurodoc, neuropathy sentence keeps popping up. So we just keep driving those leads and traffic and people and bodies to all our doctors for free. So you know what frustrates us sometimes? I'm going to tell you what frustrates us. Can I be transparent with you? Just a little bit, right? Come on, we're getting, we're as transparent as we can because that's the only way to do it. What frustrates Dr. Kaplan and myself, very few things frustrate us, is that when we get a lead and we don't have a DCOA doctor in that market. It's true. Yes, there's still so many markets that are still open. But take a look at this. Take a picture of this. These are all the things that you could do, should do, want to do, will do in 2024 to be able to light the light your phone. Everything starts. The big domino is new patients. And we've got stuff to show you January 27th that you have not seen yet. I want you to go to, as we mentioned before, I want you to go to, as I mentioned before, if you can see that. Oh, let's go back just a sec. www.thecheiroevent.com. Scoop up your seats now. This is, if you want to talk about marketing, we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to show you the latest, greatest examples. You're going to take incredible notes. You're going to walk out with content. We're going to show you what you're going to walk out with here today. We're going to show you some of that stuff. But before we do that, I want to kick it back to Dr. Kaplan because most of the time, if not all the time, I say something that he's thinking. Yeah, that's how it works. He says something that I'm thinking. I always say, you know what? He's heard me say this so many times. He has heard me say this so many times. And what I always say is this. I said, when I think of us together, 37 years, historic relationship, have created more new patient opportunities for doctors, more patients have been saved from back surgeries, epidural injections, taking Norflex, Soma, Vicodin, Percocet, Toradol, Oxycodone, Oxycontin. These are your patients, doctors, and you have the opportunity as a chiropractor to help them non-invasively. I always say to Dr. Kaplan, I said, you know what? I said, it's no different than a music group. Your music, unmatched, unheard of. So awesome, so beautiful, so perfect, so eloquent. He's the best communicator in this business. Has been for years. My music, it's pretty good. But when we get it together, you know what that's about. That's why you got to be in the moment. That's why you got to be in the room. That's why you got to be there. January 27th, www.thechirovet.com. There's case studies that I want to show. Then I want to show some special stuff we've never shown before. So Dr. K, I want to kick it to you for a sec because I know you're thinking, or you're going to say what I'm thinking, brother.
What I'm thinking is, I thought we were going to be an hour, and I know we're running over already, but that's okay. You know why? Because Harvey McKay says in this book, How to Swim with the Sharks That Can Eat Alive, give the client everything they expect and more. And I believe the same thing is true with the patients. You see, there's never been a better time for chiropractic. Think about this, doctors. Do you realize that 22 million Americans, one out of five suffers from neuropathy? 1 out of 5. Now, if you combine that with back problems, which is the number one reason for disability in America, wow, are we in the right place? So instead of just a subluxation nerve connection, now we have the disc neuropathy connection. So what I'm saying to you, doctors, if a neuropathy patient comes in, could they be a decompression patient? If a decompression patient comes in, could they be a neuropathy patient? Give you an example. And then we talk about knees. People don't want surgery. I used to say this in Patient Perry's Red Book. The difference between major and minor surgery is minor surgery happens to somebody else. There are complications to surgery, doctors. Now, do you realize that 87% of neuropathy patients have fractures, which are due to falls? Fractures. And of that, 1 in 5 die 5 years after a hip fracture. Perry and I had a close friend that this actually just happened to. And that you know that of the 22 million people that have neuropathy, okay, 10 to 15 of the 22 million are not diabetic. So you have to say to yourself, doctors, in your office, could a subluxation patient be a neuropathy patient? The answer is yes. Why? Because a subluxation creates neuropathology. And if you go to the work from Mayo or the Cleveland Clinic, you're going to realize there's that connection. If you go to McCormick and Erickson's study at a George Washington University or Abraham at the National Spine Institute, they're going to say that back problems, sciatica, and neuropathy are associated. So hold on. I say to every person, what's one neuropathy case worth to you? Well, if one neuropathy case is $6,000 a month, and you did one a month, doctors, that's $72,000 a year. But to do that, doctors, as I spoke to one doctor today, you have to understand the 3 C's. The National Institute of Health says peripheral nerves have the ability to regenerate as long as the underlying nerve cell has not been killed. And that's our job. If you look at the Boxer Martin study, it says discs have the ability to regenerate. Hold on. You know what's amazing, doctors? We forgot. The power that creates the body has the power to heal the body. Have we become just structural engineers? Do you realize that the power of chiropractic is so strong today that it's never been stronger than it is today? But you know what? So many of you got so caught into philosophy. Chiropractic is not a philosophy, an art, and a science. It's a science, doctors. And there are people out there suffering. And they're suffering, doctors, and you can help them. The U.S. consumes 75% of all medications in the world, yet we only are 5% of the world's population. Hold on. We're a drug country. Watch TV tonight. Drug, 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 car, fast food, drug. McDonald's, Wendy's, drug, car, drug, McDonald's, fast food, car. That's your evening of television. Are you kidding me? And if you're not out there making a difference, the Mayo Clinic said 7 out of every 10 Americans is taking a drug today. Now watch this. The 45-year-olds are taking 4 drugs a day. 65 to 70 are taking 15 medications a day. And 80, 18. Are you kidding, doctors? This is our time to stand up and move forward. And to understand that neuropathy, okay, is good. Jocelyn says, Dr. Jocelyn, if you can control the sugar of the patient, you can help them. I mean, Koss, who's an anesthesiologist, goes on to say that with electroanalgesia, So we know that we have electroanesthesia, we have shock wave, acoustic wave. Okay, it's very beneficial. Here's a case study: a 34-year-old man with acute low back pain. There's a prior history of patient taking Advil with minimal change. Of course they are, but we also know that Advil and other non-inflammatory drugs cause pubs, which is perforations of the stomach. Patients become mechanical, no prior history of treatment. Straight leg rest and Bradley tests are also noted. Deep tendon relief is a +5. Now, that's very interesting, Perry, because one of the studies out of the Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic says one of the best ways to diagnose neuropathy is by doing their reflexes. You know, when we were in clinic, we had to do reflexes. If you do the patella reflex, if you do the Achilles reflex, if it's diminished, it's a form of neuropathy. You can take those reflexes and you can take that. You know, one of the great neuropathy doctors is on here tonight, Michael Smith, and he talks about how even touching from side to side, and he'll go through this, and we'll have a future seminar. You know, Perry and I spoke yesterday. We're going to have a seminar in the future just for our clients on the treatment of neuropathy and the treatment of knees. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be groundbreaking. Why? Here's what I know. Our clinics make money. You know, Perry talks about no contracts, you know, when you come to the event. But if you want to learn how the 3 C's, the capture, the conversion, the close, you want to learn about the Jocelyn study, the Cal study, the Cleveland Clinic study, the Mayo Clinic study. I mean, we'll give you that. You want to know about the Murphy study out of Harvard and Balance? You want to learn the Feinberg study, which shows that sciatica and neuropathy are associated. So here's what I'm saying, doctors. Are you treating neuropathy now? What's one neuropathy patient a month worth to you? $72,000 a year if you're in my world. But what if you did one a week? Oh, my God. My son was joking because he was hesitant to knees. He did his first knee case at $6,000. And I said, Jason, imagine if you do one knee case a week, one a month, even one a month. That's $72,000 a year. One neuropathy, $72,000 a year. One decompression, $70,000. So that means that you could do over $200,000 if you did one case a month. If you follow our 3 C's, the capture, the conversion, the close, we will show you how to do it. We will show you how to market it. We will show you how to get there. We will show you how to understand and utilize studies like the Feinberg study or the CHO study, which was in the Asian spine, that shows that neuropathic pain and spinal disorders go hand in hand. Are you kidding me? That the Sard White study, sciatica is the second most cause of neuropathy. If you don't know the studies, doctors, how can you convince the patients? And if you look at Kirshner talks about the many types of neuropathy. You have ulnar neuropathy, you have plexus neuropathy, you have root neuropathy, and you have mononeuropathy. You have to determine what type of neuropathy the patient has and how to help them. Did we lose Dr. Barr? Do I keep going here?
No, baby, here. I'm right here.
Right. I lost. If I don't see you, I don't believe in you.
I'm addicted to love, and I'm loving this. That's a song for you.
You know, for your time. Talk about studies. I mean, you know, you talk about laser. Hurwitz talks about wound care and neuropathy care, and he talks about that with decompression and neuropathy and healing. Low, which is the light study, the monochromatic energy, okay, light energy, which is also endorsed by the Mayo Clinic, that we know that it increases circulation, it improves it. And that we know that by stimulating the mitochondria, we stimulate the ATP and we create that. So doctors, study the science. Study the science. Cochman talks about balance and photoenergy, which is in the American Journal of Geriatrics. Here's another study. Oh, you know, and we see these all the time. We did the first one. Go to the next one. Give me study 2.
So this is interesting. So what I want to show here, super quick, is one of the things that jump right out. I don't know if this jumps out at you, but when you look at the case study, there's certain things. I don't know if you're like me. But I have a feeling so many of you doctors are, that when a patient comes in to see me, and when a patient comes in to see Dr. Kaplan, the first question is we say, could this be a possible disc? Now, I don't know if you caught it. I know it was a while. Irene Gold, baby. Come on. If you were at the national certification, you know what we're talking about. We brought her in. We gave her an award. It was so wild. You missed out. These are the things we do. But one of the things that jumps right out is a positive minor sign. Now, if you see a patient in your reception area and you don't even have to diagnose this yet, your staff could diagnose this, you know what happens. They get up, they're leaning forward, they're antalgic. That's a positive minor sign, which is indicative of what? Positive herniated or potential herniated disc. So in case study 1, when I see that, I say, wait a minute, no, this is a disc. Now, if you like Dr. Kaplan, you know how his mind thinks. He's going to say, well, then, wait a minute. If this looks like a positive minor sign, you had a positive Braggart's test, you had no prior history, essentially. Let's go back to that. I want to go back to that case study super quick so you can see it. And let's work through 3 case studies super quick. And then I want to show you some kind of ways to direct traffic in your office. All right. So one of the things, if you notice, I don't know if you can see my little arrow here, a positive minus sign is noticed. Now, when we see this, 34-year-old, right? Is this a neuropathy case or a disc case? Most likely disc case. What does Dr. Kaplan do? Right to the source, right to the MRI, right to the MRI, medical radiology report, built-in second opinion, case in point, medical evidence-based to be able to sit down with the patient and talk about options. Is it a degenerative disc? Is it a bulging disc? Is there more than one disc involved? Is it a prolapse? Is it a protrusion? We're going to talk about how to diagnose that. We're going to show you ways you can do it. We're going to give you some cheat sheets here on this. Thanks for hanging out with us. Nobody's left. I guess you're digging it. But let's go right into this. I want to show you something real quick. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Case study number 2, 55-year-old female presents with moderate low back pain. She's presently taking NSAIDs and has had prior chiropractic care patient noted, primarily after sitting at her computer, and she is an internet influencer. Interesting. And must create content. Wow. She notes that the pain is increasing and started to notice that she has numbness, tingling in her toes. Wow. The pain is traveling. A positive Kemp sign. You remember that test? Extension, a little angle. You remember that. And a dermatological pinwheel is positive on the L5S1, big toe. D10 reflexes are affected. Question, doctor, is this a disc case or is this potentially a neuropathy case?
It's actually both.
It could
actually
be
both.
Potentially both. Now, what would you do in this case, Dr. K? In other words, how would you go through? You mentioned something before that jumped out at me immediately. And I love when you said it. As a matter of fact, I think there's a patient on the next slide that might show. Let's go right into case study 3, because you mentioned something before in terms of how to evaluate, analyze, diagnose a patient with a great evaluation test. But let's do this real quick. Let's talk about number 3. This is a 73-year-old patient. Look at the case. Look at the age demographic. Male, not female, presents with burning, tingling, numbness, and both legs for the past year, getting progressively worse. Presently taking Lyrica. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding. How did they get Lyrica? Did they just go to Walgreens and just take it off the counter? No. You know how they got Lyrica? They had to go somewhere else. Patient has had chiropractic before with good results. Notes the ability to drive has been compromised. Here's where it gets serious. Here's where it becomes medically urgent. Here's where there are safety issues and has had difficulty feeling the gas pedal in his car. Upon balance testing, the patient's findings were positive. Dr. K, can you talk a little bit about the balance testing in this case in terms of differentiating between a disc case and a nerve case?
Well, first of all, when you say differentiating, many times they're correlated. Many times a nerve case is a disc case and a disc case is a nerve case. And that's why it's very funny, Perry. I remember we were in clinic and I graduated, you talk about 40 years. I graduated in 1978. I started practicing in 1979. So I've been in this game for 45 years. And when I was in clinic, there were a lot of medical tests that we had to do that I'm saying, what's the necessity of this? I don't want to do this. I want to palpate the spine. Then you meet brilliant people like Tim Karaman. You meet brilliant people like Michael Smith. And, you've learned that they took their diagnostic studies, their diagnostic tools, they took it to the next level. I believe that case, Perry, is a disc and neuropathy case. So what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to do balance testing on them. I can do it based in the office that will teach anyone that comes to the chiro event. I will teach them how to do a balance test in the office on every person. My gift, you come, you get there, you put your ass in a seat, I'll make you a better doctor. You want to be a salesman? Go to all the other losers in the thing. Our people are better doctors. You want to be, I don't want to be, listen, I walk around, I deal with professional athletes. My son deals with professional athletes. We want to deal with the best. I don't want people saying, oh, he's a chiropractor. What does he know? No, they're going to say, go to Dr. Kaplan. He's a specialist. He knows nerves. He knows this. That's what I want people to say, and I talk about it all the time. So what I'm going to say, doctors, is I'm going to correlate it, and they might be a decompression and a neuropathy case. So here's a 73-year-old. I'm going to check his reflexes. Now watch this. You talk about Lyrica. Let's go to the first line. Lyrica only has a 50% success rate. However, 50% of the cases also have side effects. So hold on. That's like a 50-50. So 50% have success rate. And watch this. I'm going to go one step further. And the success rate is only 50% effective. So that's 50-50-50. So 50% have some success, but only 50% reduction of symptoms, and they have a 50% chance of having side effects. Those are not the odds. Doctors, there's no side effects to chiropractic. There's no side effects to decompression. There's no side effects to mirror therapy, microchromatic infrared energy. When we realize that we can improve circulation, when we know through that by stimulating light, we can stimulate the mitochondria. This is the chart that we hand out to all of our doctors, the percentage of abnormal lumbar spinings and MRIs. And if you read about it, it's pain-free subjects. Look in the 40s and 60s. Look at the green, doctors. Disc degeneration, almost 75%. But here's what it tells me, doctors. If I'm seeing that, I know I'm going to have forms of neuropathy. See, neuropathy, doctors, give symptoms no different than back pain gives you symptoms. So you have patients that come in, their back might feel better, but their numbness doesn't deal. Do you realize that people come into your office with numbness and tingling? Okay, these are forms of neuropathy. So when I gave you the word nerve, neuropathy, energy, regeneration, we know from the studies, from the Boxell Martin study, that nerves can regenerate. We know the V. What does the V stand for? The V stands for vasoconstriction, but also stands for vitamins. That we know that the B vitamins, B1, B6, B12, the folic acid, we know that these can help them. We know that nitrous oxide. Now, you know what you need to do, doctors? You need to do the right intake. Because, see, if you want to travel symptoms, listen to what I'm telling you. People come to your office because of symptoms, and we talk about rebounding. We put this on their website, doctors. We want to know what's going on and how we can help them. You see, doctors, by being a better doctor, you're going to get better results. The D in doctor stands for diagnostics. The R stands for results. And if you're not picking up neuropathy, doctors, you're not doing your job. If you're not picking up this problem, you're doing your job. Remember, a subluxation becomes a bulge, and a bulge becomes herniation. But I will tell you, doctors, by the time it's herniated, you have associated neuropathy. There is no way that you won't. And that we know through certain exam forms that we will provide that you can examine these patients, and we'll show you how to do a thorough examination. This is what we do. You need to check the reflexes. You need to do a Verveer Patrick. You need to do a Lesage test, but you also need to test the reflexes, and you also need to do balance testing. And there are very inexpensive programs that can help you do this. So if decompression is an MRI, then neuropathy is a balance test. And they realize 75% of the falls. And then we provide forms, doctors. Many of these forms we're going to give you at the event in January.
One of the things that we love, I want all our doctors, because we have so many DCOA doctors. If you email us tomorrow, you have our email. You know what it is, newpatientnow@aol.com. This is a combination form that we're using now to educate the patients. This goes in the new patient package. And this is like a very special form that is brand new, actually, and we're using it in the new patient packages because we want to educate the disc patients on nerve care. We want to educate the nerve patients on disc care. We want to conjoin the two, and it's awesome. And And my phone is lighting up like crazy, you guys. Obviously, you're loving it. I would love it too. Hey, listen, January 27th. If you're not there, well, then guess what? The train left the station and you're not on it. If you want to be on it, then guess what? There may still be an opportunity. Go to the website, www.thecairoevent.com. And
You know what's
we're
amazing,
see.
Perry?
Sure, 100%.
You know what's amazing? Not only, I'm going to tell you what, doctors, if you're out there, first of all, you're going to come meet many of our doctors that are already clients, guys that are doing over $1 million a year. But secondly, you're going to have the president of the United States personal chef making you a lunch. Thirdly, if you don't think it was a phenomenal day, I'll give you your damn money back because I'm going to tell you, your money's not going to change my life. We do this ineffectively. Why, doctors? Because we know that there are three I's, as Richard Branson said in our profession. There are the innovators, they're the imitators, and they're the idiots. You have so many people that are out there that are selling packages, but you know what? Are they making money? In our contracts, which you do not show, we know that all of our clients will get 100% of their money back. We'll stay with them until they do. No one has ever done this in history. So if you want to take your practice to the next level, if you're sick and tired of your practice being sick and tired, if you're tired of being on the roller coaster, the merry-go-round, the Ferris wheel, whatever the hell you call it in practice, you know what you need to do? You need to come to this event. And you need to get your seat now because here's what we do, doctors. This is not a seminar. Let me be specific. We do it in a boardroom. Why? Because boardrooms are about business. It's what I did when I was the president of Nutrisystem. We will take 10 people and that's it. And we go through the basics of business. We will give you your MBA, doctors. You have your DC, right? But now it's time for your MBA. You need to learn the business. So we're going to talk about spinal decompression. We're going to talk about neuropathy. We're going to talk about joint care. But here's what I'm saying, doctors. What is one new patient worth to you? If you don't get one new patient as a result this weekend, I'll give you your damn money back. It's the way it works. We're not in this for the money. We're in this for the legacy of chiropractic because the innovators are ones that are doing it, but the imitators and the idiots are ruining our profession. You know what? Think about this, doctors. We were talking about nutrition 100 years ago. They laughed at us. We were talking about subluxations 100 years ago. They laughed at us. You know, we're talking about decompression now, and medical doctors are getting into it. But you know what? As we spoke with Norman Shealy, MD, who said not only does he love the knee machine, the AccuKnee that's soon to be coming out, he endorsed, but he endorsed Dr. Perry Bart and I, the only chiropractors he's ever endorsed because he said, you understand the disc component. You understand the neurological component. You understand that drugs and surgery are not the answer. You understand the premises of electroanalgesia, how electroanalgesia does the pulse at 10,000 pulses per second that helps isolate the nerve, that helps deaden the nerve. Imagine doctors doing a non-pain nerve block in your office. We will give you this. We will give you manuals. I'll give you more than you ever expected. Why? Because that's my legacy, doctors. You know, I have to look at this and say, what have I given? The profession has given me the greatest family in the world. It's given me the greatest partner in the world. It's given me the greatest wife in the world. And I will tell you, doctors, I hope that you all have the money in the bank that I have when you reach my age. And you can have more. But the secret to more, doctor, is understanding neuropathy. It's understanding decompression. It's understanding these. It's understanding that we are not alternative care. We are primary care. And the alternative should be drugs and surgery. I'm Dr. Eric Kaplan with the greatest partner in the world, the proudest father in the world, saying, you know what? Be there or be square. If you want, I guarantee you a minimum of one new patient to result this weekend. One. But what's that one worth to you? But what if you get one a month, one a week? What if you get two a week? What if you get three a week? Doctors, this is your time to take your practice. So you know what? You can sit on the sidelines. Well, look, I'm wearing the jersey, baby. You can get in the game. You want to play hockey? You're going to get hit. They're going to throw you the board because insurance companies don't want to pay you. Insurance companies don't want to pay you. Medicare doesn't want to pay you. Nobody wants to pay you, but I'll tell you what, you get relief, you'll get paid. So I'm Dr. Eric Kaplan playing hockey tonight, saying, get in the game. Get in the game, damn it. Get in the game. Get a jersey. Get in the game. Take your practice to the next level. Love you all. Look forward to seeing you.
So I think this will be the most interactive. I think that was the most interactive Zoom meeting we've ever given. But guess what? We're not done yet. Why? Because all of you hung out. Thank you for hanging out. I want to share some gifts with you for hanging out with us here. So I'm going to go right into it. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to show it to you, but it actually is that cool. And so what we're going to do is this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right into the slides. But before I do that, I'm going to answer the question on my phone. And the question was this. The question is that really a hockey jersey? And the answer is, not only is it a hockey jersey, it's like the coolest hockey jersey ever. Yeah, you know what it's about. I have so many doctors here on this that are part of our Ring of Honor. Not only are they multi-million-dollar players, they started just like you. They came to a Zoom meeting. They said, I got to go check out this Cairo event. Their lives were forever changed. No pressure, no obligation. It's so much fun. Let me show you some stuff because I want to show you what we're giving away and what we're giving away tonight. Here, live, right here, right now, where it could be in like your email box and like, can I say like 10 minutes? Yeah, like 10 minutes. Yeah, like sent to your email. So it's lighting up that. So I just want to let you know, they opened up more seats. In other words, what they did was they reconfigured the room. As you know, historically, we do it like a U shape, historically like a horseshoe. What they did for this upcoming January 27th is they reconfigured the room so they were able to add some more seats. And we asked them to do that on purpose because of the demand, because of we knew coming out of the Zoom meeting, everybody wanted to come. So www.thecairoevent.com. But let me show you real quick what we're doing, what we're giving away, what we're sharing. And here we go. All right. So first things first, Dr. Kaplan actually spoke about, I don't know if you can still see me in the corner, but there was a manual that was given away at the only national peripheral neuropathy certification 12-hour CEU program, which Dr. Kaplan and I created years ago. And we actually have doctors on the Zoom meeting who taught it. Oh my gosh. And yes, we have the video we still have the videos from that. They're amazing. And so any doctor who's able to come now, if you're saying, gee, what does that look like? Yeah, it's like that big. Can you see me? Can you feel me? You know what I'm talking about? This is it. It was the only way to get this was you had to come. So if you want to dial in, let's talk about Cliff Note versions to be able to get to the front of the line in 2024. Let's talk about tools. Let's talk about ammunition. Here we go. So that's number one. Number two, oh, did I mention, by the way, there's for people what did they pay to go there? Not including air, hotel. Well, $450. So here, this is kind of interesting. What is this? Oh, yeah, there's a hardcover book, almost 400 pages, with every research study under the sun. So notice how we just showed you a manual of 250, I think it's actually closer to 300 pages, for nerve, with forms, with tools, with content. But now, here's where it gets really interesting. Since we wrote the ultimate spinal decompression book, which is called the Bible, 800 pages, Dr. Kaplan and myself, coolest thing going. Yep. So we had to come out with a university edition because the universities, all the chiropractic schools said, we need a version that we can give to our students. So we had to lean it down. It's only 400 pages. It's got everything under the sun. One of my favorite things that Dr. Kaplan does or gives away is in January, as you know, Dr. Kaplan wrote the book on this stuff. Yeah, he did. He wrote a book called The 5-Minute Motivator. He wrote a book called The 1-Minute Motivator. Yeah, he could do it even quicker. My favorite book is a book that he wrote called Can't Stop Me. Oh, you want to know about Dr. Kaplan, what he's all about? Get your hands on that book. Sometimes we give that away. At this one coming up, we're giving you a CD package of the 5-Minute Motivator so you can start listening to it right on the plane, right when you get back. That cool. Just pop it in, plug it in. It's the coolest thing. We're also giving you, remember when he was talking about cellular health? Remember when he was talking about the mitochondria? Remember when he was talking about circulation? Remember when Dr. Kaplan said that this is an above down, inside out thing? That there's only one cause. Yeah. It's in the book. We give you this book. That book is so thick. I think it's like 350 pages. We're going to put that book in your hand January 27th. You might need another suitcase when you come. But guess what? We're not done yet. We're going to give you a biz plan for 2024. 200 pages. What to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, why to do, and examples. How to hit the ground running. I love this book. It's proprietary. It's specific. It is unique. And no one in the world, has it. And I'm honored because it's really a story of success of our family of doctors. So many are on this right now. But here's another cool thing right here, brand new. All roads lead to DISC. All the articles, so many research studies, so much content, and so many visuals and graphics. This is an amazing book. I'll show it to you. You want to see it? Yeah. When we get off, I'll show it to you. We'll put that in your hand as well. It's that cool. So let's go over, in other words, if you're fortunate enough to grab some of these gifts, if you go to www.thechiroevent.com, we're going to put all these tools physically in your hands. It's going to be over the top. It'll launch 2024 correctly. The peripheral neuropathy manual, 250 pages, $450 value. That would be good enough. Like if you would have just told me, wait a minute, I'm going to get a seat at the Chirovet. I'm going to walk away with this crazy thing. Yeah, that's good enough for me. I'm happy than a pig in what? You know what? It's a G-rated thing. That's the way we do it in Gallatin, Tennessee. Yeah. The Ultimate Spinal Decompression book, not boo, book. 400 pages. Awaken the Wellness Within. 350. I was right. It was 350 pages. I don't have a copy here, but it's thick, crazy. So much content. 5-minute motivator. Total value, $950. In addition to all the other stuff. But guess what? It gets even better. Well, you know what? There's more stuff. I don't want to skip over it. The Biz Manual, value of $300, and then all roads lead to this. You're gonna, how big is that stack? I think the stack is like that big. You may need a suitcase. Total value, $1,600. Trust me, if you can find this stuff anywhere else, get it. The truth is you won't. You can't. Nobody else owns it. Nobody else created it. Nobody else shares it. Nobody else gives it. It's our honor to give it. And we love, love, love giving. We're in the business, as you know, of under-promising and over-delivering. If you're curious what it looks like, this is what it looks like. www.thechiroevent.com. Grab your seats. Walk out with the stuff. I mean the stuff. But here's how it gets kind of cool. Even more. I know, we're not done yet. I know you're looking at this. Wait a minute, they got more stuff? Yeah. If you're able to secure a seat right here, right now, live, we're going to send you a 70-page book right to your email right here. So you could start 2024 in motion. Now, if you're DCOA, Descendants of America, this was already sent to you. If you didn't miss it in your email, we'll resend it to you. It's the greatest time of the year to make a change for the future. It is the greatest time of the year to make a change in the trajectory of your career, your practice, your life, and your bank account. It is the greatest time of the year to be able to do what you've always wanted to do, which is just simply to fulfill your potential. If you go to the website right now, www.thechirovet.com, this will be sitting in your email within 10 minutes. 70 pages. Let's get to work right here, right now. We're not waiting 3 weeks. Yeah, it's worth waiting 3 weeks, all that other stuff and more. You think there might be some other stuff? Yeah, heck yeah. Go to www.thechiroevent.com. We want you to grab your seat right now. And if you're curious, really, really, really quick. So I know because you didn't see it up close. Yeah, baby. It's thick like no tomorrow. Yeah, baby. It's thick like no tomorrow. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is where it came from. Oh, my gosh. 800 pages. I'm getting a hernia just lifting it. Oh, my gosh. But it just doesn't stop. But, remember when I mentioned the I love this. This is my new favorite one because the graphics, the graphics are sick. We added a lot of new materials and graphics and tools and content. We're putting this physically in your hand at the Chiro event. It's that important. It is that. Can I say this? I'm going to say this. Ready? It's medically necessary. It's that medically necessary. If you haven't grabbed a seat by now, you got the website. The train is leaving the station. The question is, are you on it to set 2024 in motion for the most historic year ever? And the simple fact is that I think somebody is chiming in. Are you chiming in?
Yeah, Perry, I got to say this. I mean, because we call you Santa Bard for all the stuff you give away. But I want you guys to think about this as you end the evening. Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what you get, and you make a life by what you give. And we give so much, and I will tell you why. Perry and I strongly believe that the middle class of chiropractic has gone away, that people are either making it or they're not making it. And the ones that aren't making it, it's not because they're not good chiropractors. They just don't understand the science, the art, and the philosophy. See, because chiropractic is not a philosophy, an art, and a science. It's a science, doctors. And you need to present that to the people. And don't be part of the middle class when you can be part of the upper class. We have chiropractors making $3-4 million a year. We have a doctor in New Mexico with a 30,000 square foot office. This is the time, doctors, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in chiropractic. You have to believe in everything that you do. You have to be so committed to yourself. You have to be so committed to your future. You have to be so committed to your patients because we will give you the tools. Why? Because that's our legacy. Why? Listen, my goal is you'll walk away with one new patient. You don't get a new patient in this program, I'll give you your money back because let me tell you what it tells me. It tells me that you're not focused. It tells me that you're not dedicated. It tells me that you don't understand the science. But if you do, doctors, you will learn the 3 C's: the capture, the conversion, and the close. Don't be an imitator, doctor. Don't be an idiot. Come join us and see why the biggest and the best are part of NeuroDoc, This Centers America. Come get these gifts because you know what, doctors? Just because you got your DC degree, it doesn't mean you have to stop studying. The road to success is always under construction. And our goal this year is to construct a better life and a better practice for you. So thank you very much for sharing this time with us this evening. I'm going to watch the Knick game now.
So let's see. So let me see. Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. All right. I promised you. Somebody just texted me. Yeah, that's the back of it. There's a reason. There is a reason that we attract the most entrepreneurial, business savvy, business minded, major league chiropractors who are in this business to win. They are in this business to basically to leave it on the field. They are in this business to make their own history. They are in this business to create a legacy for themselves, for their family, and for generations to come, to create the strongest doctor-patient relationship in history. And I'll tell you this, it's the greatest fly on the wall experience you can have. Of all the things you've heard me say this before, there's an old saying, I don't know if you heard it before, as long as you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said. Did you ever hear that before? Well, you've heard me say this before. Of all the things Dr. Kaplan and I have ever done, all the national certifications, sold out 4 years in a row, all the boot camps, incredible. There's one the day before. Yeah, January 26th. Yeah. And a bunch of those doctors will be on there on the 27th. All the master classes, all the seminars, all the workshops, all the trainings, everything. The greatest thing that we do is the Chiro event because it is the most real-time, plug and play, take 10 years and condense it into 10 hours, matter-of-fact training to be able to give you the tools that you need to be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, for as long as you want to do it, and whoever you want to do it with. That's called freedom. Freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want, for as long as you want, with whomever you want. Dr. Kaplan and I have been enjoying a life of freedom a life of affluence. As you know, we teach the affluent lifestyle to the doctors. Why? Because it's the lifestyle that we live. We teach that. Learn from success. This is an above down, inside out thing. It always has been. It always will be. January 27th is the date. And on behalf of Dr. Eric Kaplan and myself, the clock is ticking. For the doctors that grabbed your seat while you were on the Zoom training, we cannot wait to see you. It's going to be so amazing and it's going to be so awesome. We will see you there live at the ChiroVet. Grab your seat, thechirovet.com. Happy New Year. This will be an historic year for so many of you. You know why. We'll see you there.